Welcome to ICSE Computer Applications Class 10 100 Marks. I am Ganga Devi and in this video we will be discussing the various ways of input in Java. That means how data can be accepted or stored in a variable and used for program purpose. Through BlueJ function, this is fully available in BlueJ, that means function method, scanner class, input stream reader and assignment statement. All the different types we will be discussing one by one in detail. What do you mean by input? What is the input statement? So inputting a value means accept or store the data or value to a variable which is already declared. The value or data will be stored in the particular data type. That means if you are storing an integer number, it will be stored to a integer variable, and decimal or number with decimal point will be stored to a double data type, string with strings and character. So accepting the value from the user or assigning the data is known as inputting. So here we can see how we can give the data to the computer for programming. First way, by assigning the value to a variable. Here we are not inputting, here we are just storing a given value to a variable, and with this variable or with this value the program will compile and give the result. And second type, this is only useful in BlueJ version, no other type of Java. Here we can use by using the function argument. For example, public static void main int_a. So int_a we are putting in bracket. So by using the function argument we are accepting the value. And third one is by using scanner class and then by using input stream. So these are the different types of accepting or storing the data in a variable. Even we can see the main difference also. What are the difference in different types of input or storing the data? First one, initialization. When we are initializing the value, the data will be given before the execution. That means in the program we will say int_a is equal to 5, double x is equal to 50.5. So here before the execution of the program, data is given. And second one, parameters. So in this case, the data will be given at the time of execution. For example, when we compile the program, we have to give the data whatever it is used for the program. And in scanner class, after execution, scanner class and input stream, it is same. The data will be given after execution. We will compile the program, and after that when we run the program, data will be used. So like this the data can be given. Initialization before execution will be given, and parameters or function while compiling the data will be asked, and scanner and input stream after compilation data will be given. You can see and understand the different types of input statement with the help of example. So in assignment statement, the data is stored in the variable before execution, and once it is compiled, if you want to change the value, we have to recompile it. Otherwise, the old value will be used and answer will be coming according to the old value. So here the example program we can see. In this case, we are storing one number, int_x is equal to 25 and double y is equal to 35.2. So these are the data which we are giving to the program, and while writing the program before the compilation, the value is already stored in the variable, and then we can add, subtract, or all the mathematical functions can be done. Double t is equal to a plus b and sum of the numbers is t. So like this the data will be given and execution will take place by using the assignment statement. Next is by using the function argument. Here data is accepted at the time of compilation, and if we want to change the data, there is no need of recompilation. We can just change the value when it is asked. So example program we can see the data will be accepted in this form, like the function public static void main int_a comma int_b. So Once we are running the program, at that time we can give the data program also here. So we are giving the value of A and B at the time of execution, and then we can add or subtract according to the question. For changing the value also, we have just run the program once again, and then new values can be given, and the values will be accepted and answer will come according to the new values. So this is more versatile than the assignment statement, as no recompilation has to be done for changing the value. Now we can discuss scanner class in Java. Scanner class is the latest development in Java which help the user to read various types of data from keyboard. That means we can read integer numbers, strings, characters, boolean data type, all the different types of data that is typed in the keyboard will be sent to the compiler through scanner class. And Java provides a variety of classes which has predefined function. Scanner class is one of them, and scanner class is a library class which resides in the package java.util. It is the utility package of Java. So if you want to use the functions of scanner class for inputting or accessing the data, we have to import the scanner class by using the command import java.util.scanner, where S is capital. So in this case, Java is the package name in which the class is stored, and utility, it is the sub package, and scanner is the library class. So if you are importing this one, for example, java.util.star, all classes of utility class will be appearing in the program, will be imported. And if you want to use the particular scanner class, we will say java.util.scanner. Star means all classes, and if you want a particular class, the name will be given at the end. So like this, we can import the scanner class to our program, and we can use the scanner class for accepting various types of data types. Now we can see how data is accepted in the scanner class. Data is taken as a token in scanner class, and scanner class reads token from the source where we are typing and convert into binary form or machine form. And for accessing the functions in Java by using the scanner class, we have to create an object. So how we will create the object? Scanner SC, because scanner is the class name. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner system.in, where SC is the object which we are creating. And when we are printing any data, we will say system.out, and when we are accepting any data, it is system.in. That means we are accepting the input. So scanner SC is equal to new scanner. This line should be there. And in place of SC, you can create any object. For example, scanner input, scanner ABC, any object can be created. And by using that particular object, we can access the data in scanner class. Scanner class basically work on the principle of tokens. That means each input, whatever data type you are typing in the keyboard, will be taken as a token in scanner class. And token is a set of characters separated by delimiters according to scanner class. If we are defining token according to scanner class, we can define it as set of characters separated by delimiter. Now the question arises, what is a delimiter? Delimiter is a sequence of one or more characters that separate two tokens. Tokens means set of characters. It can be a word, a group of numbers, a boolean true or false. So whatever separate two tokens, it is known as a delimiter. And the default token or default delimiter, it is the white space, the space bar. So here we can see set of characters are coming, computer, and then group of numbers are coming 1925 with 75.2. Each group is separated by the white space, and In scanner class, this byte space is the delimiter. The default delimiter is byte space. And here, whatever things can be used as a delimiter, we can use comma. Comma can separate two words or two tokens. Full stop, that also can separate the words. Semicolon and byte space. So all these things can be used as delimiters in scanner class. We can say how input is accepted in scanner class by the different methods that are used to accept different data types. For example, integer data type, long, double, float. So here we can see the method, and then we can find how to accept the data by using an example. So first of all, the methods are next int, I capital with no space. By using next int, we can read an integer value or we can accept an integer value. And next long, it is used to accept a long data type. That means it returns the token as a long. Next double for accepting double data type. Here we can see we are using the wrapper class long, L capital, double, D capital, and next float. This will accept a float data type. Here also F is capital as in the wrapper class. And now for accepting a character, the function is next dot char at a capital at 0. 0 position means the first position of the string. Next dot char at 0. This method is used to accept a character value. And next, if you want to accept just one word, we use next. And if you want to accept more than one word, a sentence or group of sentence, next line L capital. So these are the functions which are used to accept various data types by using scanner class. So this will be clear when we write a program by using this function. Now we can understand scanner class by using a program. This will clear the doubts how to accept the data and how it is utilized. So first of all, we have to import or bring the scanner class. So here the command for that, statement for that, import space java.util.scanner. So by using this statement, we are calling the scanner class to our program. We can use the functions which are predefined in the scanner class in our program. Okay, many students I have seen, they are putting one dot after import also. After import, one space will come, not the dot. After import space, so import space java.util.scanner where S is capital ending with a semicolon. And now start the class sample, public static void main string args and scanner se. Create the scanner class object so that with the help of that particular object we can accept the data. So scanner se is equal to new scanner system.in. As I already told you, system.in means for accepting and system.out is mainly used for printing. So here SC is the object which we have created, and with the help of this object we will accept the data. So here first of all we can accept an integer number. So give the command. In scanner class we have to give the command. So system out println input an integer number. And for accepting integer number, declare the variable int a in which the value will be stored. Int a is equal to sc. Here we can see the object is used here, sc dot next int I capital. So with this command we will be accepting one integer number. So for example, we are accepting 25. 25 will be stored in a. And now we can accept a decimal number. So here command is here, input a decimal number, double D. Decimal number means data type will be double. Double D is equal to sc dot next double. So command for accepting is next double. If it is int, next int integer number, and double means next double. So whatever decimal number, one example we can take 35.26 will be stored in D. And now input a character. So here character C, char, declare the variable C. And now the command for accepting character sc dot next with brackets dot char at without space a capital at 0. So this is the predefined command for accepting a character in scanner class. So when you accept the character like this, here one example, it is P. We are inputting P, so that value or character will be stored in the variable C. And now input a word. If you want to accept a single word, we are having this command string s. Word or string means string. String s is equal to sc dot next with bracket. So this command will accept one word. Here we are giving a sentence. We can see what will be the output later. So here giving computer is fun. And now we can see while printing what will be accepted in the variable s. And now input a sentence. If you want a sentence, here string x is equal to sc dot next line, L capital. So one sentence we are storing. Next line will accept more than one word. Sentence or number of sentence can be stored in the variable x. So like this we have accepted the data types of different kind. So integer number sc dot next int, if it is double sc dot next double. If you are accepting a float number sc dot next float. If you are accepting short sc dot next short. So the command is easy. Only in this case one more thing we have to see, we are using the wrapper class double D capital, and if you are using next float F capital. So mainly wrapper class properties also we are using here. And now we can see what will come as the output when we do the printing. So here the command is the system out println A. In A we have stored 25. So when you say this command, 25 will be printed. And now system out println D. In D we have stored 35.26. So 35.26 will be the output. And now system out println C. C character variable. We have stored the variable or character P. So output will be P. Now system out println S. In S, while we were typing, we have said computer is fun. Space is coming in between. So the command is sc.next. sc.next will accept only one word till the space is coming. The remaining characters or words will not be taken. So here we can see the output as computer. This one is not taken because the command we have given is sc.next. And now the next system out println x. Here we have used sc.next line. So the complete line was taken and output will be we are studying Java. So here next and next line, here we can see difference. Next will accept only one word. Even if you are giving a sentence, only the first word will be taken in next, and in next line the complete sentence will be taken. One more example we can see to find the difference between next and next line. This small program will show the difference between next and next line. Here we are having the program code import java.util.scanner. That means scanner class is used in the program class public static void main and create the scanner object. Scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in. That means sc is the object. And in this we are using an sc.next and sc.next line one after the other, and we are printing as soon as we accept it, we are printing in the proper format. We are accepting a word and we can see what is the result. Suppose after compiling, if you are giving students are studying Java, in this case, see here, both the commands are coming one after other. If it is coming like this, the first word will go to sc.next and the remaining sentence or words will go to sc.next line. So when you print it with sc.next, you will get the answer as students, and with sc.next line, it will come as are studying Java. If you print sc.next alone, then also the students alone will come. So keep in mind when these are coming together, then the first word will go to sc.next and the remaining words will go to next line. And see the second code. In this case, SC dot next line is coming alone. SC dot next is there. So it is, if it is like that, whatever sentence we are giving, for example, the same sentence we are giving, students are studying Java, the full sentence will go to SC dot next line and output will be like that. So first word always will go to next and the remaining words will go to next line. And if you are giving a full sentence and if you are using SC dot next alone, only the first word will be taken. And if SC dot next line is coming alone, the full sentence will go to next line. Now in scanner class, while reading the input, the token cannot be converted to the deferred type of value. For example, if you are asking for integer, if you have given the command for an integer, and if you are inputting a double number or a character, a runtime error will occur. Whatever data you are declaring, you have to give the same kind of data, not the different data type. And in that case, you can avoid this error by making sure the specified type of value is available. So if you don't want to show the error and if you want to check if any error is there while inputting, then the hash next method is there. This will help us to see, help the programmer to see any mistake is there in inputting. For example, asking integer type and inputting double. That is a mistake. Program will stop, runtime error will come. So to avoid this, to remove the mistake or check the mistake, the hash next method has introduced. So now we can see how this method is used. So here hash next. Next, as you know, will accept words and hash next. In this case, n will be capital. When you use sc dot next ind, simply sc dot next, n is in small case and hash next n will be in capital letter. So here hash next will return true if the scanner has taken the string as an input. Hash next means next is for string and hash next will check it if it is a string or not. And if it is a string, the answer will be true. Hash next line you remember, it is for accepting a sentence, and if the scanner has taken a line or sentence or a word as input, the return type will be true. It will not show any error. And in this case, hash next line, if you are inputting an integer, the error will be shown. Hash next ind, n and I capital, no space. Here it will check whether the scanner has taken an integer as input, otherwise whether the user have given an integer as the input. If any other number, double number is coming, answer will be false. Hash next long will check if the input is long or not. Hash next float. Float means it will check whether the input is a float or not. Here C, N and F is capital, here N and L is capital. Hash next short will check if the scanner is taking a short as the input. And hash next double if it is taking a double as an integer, as an input. If you are inputting sentence or character, it will come as wrong. So hash next method will check whether the correct input is given or not. We can understand the concept better with the help of this program. Here we are importing the scanner class name, public static and scanner SC. Create this scanner class object. And one integer data type we have declared ind x is equal to 0. The initial value we have given as 0. And now give the command input an integer number. So here ind x, we are accepting an integer number. So we have given the command and now we have to check if you want to see whether the user is inputting any other data type other than integer. So hash next ind command is there. If sc hash next ind, that means if it is an integer, then only x is equal to sc dot next ind. Here we are having the brace for if condition. If it is an integer, the number will be accepted. And if it is not an integer, for example, if you are giving a double data type, then in x no value will be accepted. Checking is true, it will be accepted, otherwise no. And when you say system out println x, if you have inputted an integer number, the particular value will be printed, and if you have input a decimal value or any other data type, 0 will be printed. Here we can see, suppose if you are inputting 25, 25 is an integer number, checking hash next IND, it is true, so answer will be 25. Suppose if you are inputting 25.52, here it is not an integer number. So if SC has next IND condition will be false, the number will not be accepted in IND. So when you print X, the initial value of X, that means 0, will be printed. So like this we can check whether the user is giving the correct data type or not. And if it is not correct, we can have the proper commands to show the mistake, otherwise not to accept. Now we can discuss inputting data and outputting data through input stream reader. Input and output functions are done through the concept of streams, and a stream can be defined as the sequence of data, that means flowing of data either the computer or from the computer to screen so that users can see. So mainly two kinds of streams are there. Input stream is used to read data from the source, that means from keyboard or any other source which are inputting the data. And output stream is used for writing data or showing data to a destination through the monitor, for example. So the standard input output streams are, here we can say, Java provides support for input-output by allowing the user program to take input from the keyboard. Mainly we are inputting the data through the keyboard and showing the output on the computer screen. And the three standard streams are standard input. That means inputting data through the keyboard so that program can use it. And it is referred as system.in. When we are inputting the data, system.in. And standard output is the print stream used to output data produced by the user's program, and after showing that means after compiling the program, the result will be shown mainly through the monitor. It is referred as system.out. Mainly for printing we will say system.out. And system.error, mainly showing the error data produced by the user's program while compiling, and it is referred as system.error. ERR. So system.in means inputting data, system.out means outputting data, and system.error means showing the error after compiling the program. And these errors will be shown on the screen with red colors. So input and output function are enabled by using the class system. As we have already discussed, we can see input stream means it's read data from a source, for example keyboard. It is referred as system.in. Output stream means it shows the data to a destination, mainly the monitor, system.out for printing. And error, that means if any mistake is coming, then it will show the error, and that is known as system.error. So mainly in this video here, now we are going to discuss the input stream and output stream. And error stream we will discuss in another video. We are discussing exceptions and errors. So now input stream or output stream can be categorized into two. That means byte oriented and character oriented. Byte oriented means it is done with bits, accepting the data in the form of bits, that means zeros and ones. And character oriented will accept the data as characters. So as byte oriented data in the form of bytes, it is not suitable for the text files. If you are inputting a text file, we cannot accept it through the byte oriented input stream. It can be done by using the character oriented input stream. The text files also can be accepted. In character oriented stream, two main classes are there. They are the input stream reader and buffered reader. Input stream reader accepts the stream of characters or we can say the string from keyboard. We have to create an object for accessing the particular class, and buffered reader store temporarily in RAM. And here also we have to create the object for accessing that. And here we can see input stream reader is available in java.io input output package. So here before using the function, we have to import the class or package import java.io.star. Then only we can use the functions which are available in the input output package. And now, as I already told you, we have to create the object for input stream reader and buffered reader. So here we can see in input stream reader, no space. As you can see, ISR in capital. Input stream reader, create the object. Here we are creating the object read. Any object name can be here. Read is equal to new input stream reader system.in. The system.in we are accepting. So input stream reader read is equal to new input stream reader system.in. So here we have created the object for the input stream reader, that is read. And now create the object for buffered reader. Buffered reader also one word, B and R capital. Buffered reader BR. Here new object is created for buffered reader is equal to new buffered reader read. Here see the object created for input stream reader is copied here. So new buffered reader read. And as I already told you, the data is accepted in the form of string. And later, according to our needs, we will convert into integer, decimal number, or any other data type. So how we can accept the data as a string? The command or the format is declare the variable string x. BR is the object we have created for the buffered reader. BR dot read line, L capital. So this is the command for accepting the data as string. So string x is equal to BR dot read line. So like this we can accept the string or the number of characters. So the default data type of accepting it is string. The input stream reader will accept data as a string and then it will convert into integer number, decimal number or any other data type according to user's need. And for accepting a single character, the command is char, and here we are declaring the variable, and explicit conversion we are doing char. BR is the object which we have created for the buffer reader dot read. No need of read line. Line means more than one character. It is symbol read. BR dot read. CHAR BR dot read. Like using this command, we can accept a single character. And now for accept a string, we have already told string x is equal to BR dot read line, where BR is the object. So now we can see how to accept an integer number. IND and declare the variable integer parse IND. Here we are using the wrapper class integer I capital. Here IND also I capital. Integer dot parse for converting string to integer. Parse IND and then BR dot read line. The command for accepting string will come in bracket. So BR dot read line we are accepting it, and after accepting the string we are converting into integer by using the command integer parse IND. And now for accepting a double number, double parse double. Here we are accepting the string and then converting into double. So double parse double, D capital, double dot parse double. So integer means integer dot parse IND BR dot read line, and double means double dot parse double BR dot read line, where BR is the object of input stream and buffer reader. And now for accepting the long number, declare the variable as long dot parse long, L capital BR dot read line, where BR is the object. Float means float dot parse float BR dot read line, F capital in both when we are accepting. That means wrapper class we are using here. So it is easy to understand the command. First thing, by default it is accepted as a string BR dot read line. If you want to convert the number which you accepted as a string into integer dot parse IND BR dot read line. If you want to convert into double, double dot parser dot double br dot readline. Long means long dot parser dot long br dot readline, and float means float, float dot parser dot float br dot readline. So like this we can accept the different data types through. We have seen how to accept the different data types through input stream reader. Now we can understand it through a program. So here we are accepting the name, roll number, average and grade, and printing it. Simple program. So here command should be the import java.io.star. Scanner class, it will be import java.util.scanner, and in input stream it is java.io.star. Class student, create a class name, public static void main string args, and here throws IO exception. Here we are warning the compiler that the program can show input output we can say errors. Exception means errors. In detail we will do later. So throws IO exception, IOE in capital. This word will come whenever we are using input stream reader. And then input stream reader read is equal to new input stream reader system dot in. Read is the object, and buffered reader br is equal to new buffered reader read. So here we have created the object of input stream reader read also, and for buffer reader br. And now give the command for accepting data. Input your name, roll number, average, and grade. So name we will accept a string, roll number integer number we can accept, average double or decimal number we can do, and grade 1 character. So first of all we are accepting the name string. So string name is equal to br.readline, the command for accepting the string. And int roll number integer we are accepting. So integer dot parse int br.readline. And now for accepting the average, double av is equal to double dot parse double br dot readline. And character grade is equal to chr in bracket explicit conversion br dot read. So different data types we have accepted, and for printing we can simply say system dot out dot println name is equal to double quotes name, the variable we are printing, so value will be printed, roll number, average, and grade we are printing. So like this we can accept the data in input stream reader. So with this we come to an end in this video. We have seen all different types of inputs, that means assigning or storing the data through assignment statement, accepting data through BlueJ function, accepting and printing data through scanner class, and input stream. ICC board we have to do with scanner class. All the programs it will be given, so scanner class is used nowadays. And but input stream reader and assignment statement can be come in for questions, different questions in section A, fill in the blanks or one word questions. So we have to study that also. I hope you were able to understand all the different ways of inputting. So if you understood and like the video, please don't forget to press the like button, and those who haven't subscribed till now, please subscribe the channel. See you all in the next video.